with more of the News Channel Nebraska pregame show here with head coach Kurt Frenzen of Columbus Lakeview as we're getting ready for this C1 semifinal. Coach, 11-0, a perfect season for you guys up to this point. What's it been like to get here?
Well, you know, our kids have done a great job of really buying in to the team concept. You know, I feel like we've got a heck of a football team. We don't have a lot of stat monsters out there, guys rushing for 2,500 yards or getting 200 tackles, but I feel like we've got a really great football team that plays together well. The strength is definitely, you know, within the team and buying into that team concept, and we're going to continue that tonight.
You guys have seen a run of some really good success over the past few years, consistent playoff appearances. What's been the key there?
You know, I think our coaching staff has done a really good job of holding our players accountable and our players being okay with being held accountable, whether that's, you know, on the field, off the field, whatever it may be. And I think our kids are doing a really good job of, you know, handling that expectation. That's the first thing. The other thing is, again, we try to preach that team concept and really buying into that. I feel great about how our kids have really approached the year. They've made it all about the team every single week, and they continue to do that. And again, that's going to be a big need for tonight as well, too.
What's been your favorite part about coaching this football team?
You know, I think they've taken the tough love a little bit. We've had a few moments where we've had to have a little tough love, and you don't get 11 wins if you don't have some challenging moments throughout the course of the year. And we've had some challenging moments, and I feel that we've been our best in those most challenging moments during the course of games. I look back to Pierce, O'Neill, Boys Town, all teams that made runs at us and did it late in the game, and our team came through and it counted most. And you know, we told them every week when we have those type of games, it's going to serve a purpose moving forward, and it has up to this point. We need to continue to do that same thing tonight.
Trying to get back to the state championship. You guys won that title in 2021. You're playing the semifinal on your home turf. How does that feel?
First time that Lakeview's had a semifinal game since 1990, and only the second time in school history. So these don't come around every year. We understand how awesome of a thing it is, what an honor it is to host the semifinal here. Now it's down to business and you know, getting our team ready to go just like it is any home game, and approaching it, you know, and make sure that we're a best version of ourselves tonight.
Last thing for you, Coach Frenzen, what's it gonna take to beat Sidney tonight?
Well, the biggest thing is I think we got to be plus in a turnover ratio. We got to continue to play with high-end effort. Sidney is a high-end effort team. We got to play with high-end physicality. Sidney's a high-end physicality team. We check those three boxes. I like where we can be at the end of the game, but that's good. Those are all going to be musts. You know, win that turnover battle, great effort, and again, be physical all night long.
Head coach Kurt Frenzen of Columbus Lakeview looking to move on to the state championship with a win here tonight. We'll see who can get it done. Coach, have some fun.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
More of the News Channel Nebraska pregame show, and kickoff is coming.
Let's take a look at our school spotlight brought to you by News Channel Nebraska. As we've got Sidney here tonight, the Red Raiders making their 11th trip all-time to the playoffs, third straight. They've never been to a state title game, trying to get over the hump this year for Coach Ryan Smith in his fourth year of this program. 37 wins to just 7 losses. He's been deep in the playoffs before, took Hershey to their first ever win in the postseason. That was back in 2012. Meanwhile, Columbus Lakeview, Coach Kurt Frenzen, year 25 for Coach Frenzen, 147 wins, 98 losses. He has been coach for all but 3 of Lakeview's playoff runs all time. Vikings making their 17th trip to state, their 5th in a row. They've been to 2 state title games. They won 1 title in 2021. So, we'll get you starting lineups and all the action coming up. You're watching Class C1 semifinals on News Channel Nebraska.
You're on the 1-yard line, ready to score.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. And by Heritage at Fountain Point in Norfolk. Living better.
20 kids, 1 SUV, and 1 mission. Snacks. Speedy Mart is where the snack squad rolls deep. Whether it's before the first pitch or after the final out, we've got drinks, treats, and all the fuel to keep your team going strong. Speedy Mart convenience stores. Quick, convenient, and always ready when the team rolls in. Speedy Mart. Snack strong, play strong.
It all starts at Big Red Motorsports in O'Neill, a side-by-side built to work with you on the farm or the ranch. A trusted partner when you're out hunting. And the adventurous speed to feel the thrill when it's time to play. Work hard, ride hard, play hard. Big Red Motorsports in O'Neill, powering your passion every step of the way.
Back at Lakeview Stadium in Columbus, Coach Kurt Frenzen mentioned it, the first semifinal home game for the Vikings in 35 years. And, Lou, we could feel it walking in tonight. I mean, obviously there's going to be a big game atmosphere, but both of these programs, I mean, Sidney's hungry just to get to that next level, make it to a state championship game for the first time, shake off the stigma that sometimes is attached with teams that play in mountain time zone football. And you've got Lakeview, who's not been playing this late on their field in 3.5 decades. The atmosphere is electric. It is palpable. This is going to be fun tonight.
Got a lot of people here from Sidney. That is awesome. That's a long trip. That's about 5.5 hours out here just to get here. So I guess if you're Sidney, you're thinking you might as well just win this game.
Yeah.
The one thing that Sidney has that I think that whether right or wrong, the perception is with the Western teams is they're not physical. This is a physical football team.
Absolutely. Doty's kick is away. It'll be Lakeview starting with the ball, fielded on a hop at the 7. There's a seam, ball's out, and Sidney's got it. First big play of the game goes the way of the Red Raiders. Nash Hank coughed it up, and it's Matt Korn with his second fumble recovery of the year.
Well, plays like this are so big in games like this. Turnovers loom large, and boy, you're giving Sidney a great opportunity. Both of these defenses are outstanding. Lakeview only gives up about 8.5 points a game. Sidney under 6 points a game. So opportunities for the offense to have the short fields. This is a great opportunity here for Sidney right off the bat.
Red Raiders, the most opportunistic defense in the state. They're now plus 16 in turnover ratio after that fumble recovery. Graham Santero was the one who forced it. Now here's Doty on the QB. Keeper undercut, far sideline. Trevor Sloop, the senior, coming up to make the play. It'll be second down at about 13 after the loss of 3.
That time the Vikings did a good job just stretching that defensive play out.
As you take a look at the Lakeview starters, you mentioned this defense, Lou. They've got a lot of good ones on there, including players that are knocking on the door of 100 tackles on the year. On second down, they go up the middle. And this is running back Reese Dorsey, the junior, 1,276 yards coming into tonight. He gets about 6 more there. It'll be 3rd and 7.
You got to think if you're Sidney that you're in 4-down territory. Again, it's always the case here. You're 3rd and about 7. You've got to be able to have a positive play here. You don't want to lose yardage on this. You want to have a positive play, and if needed, set yourself up for a makeable 4th down, rather.
3rd down 7 from the 27-yard line. Red Raiders get the ball on a fumble on the opening kickoff. It's Davis up the middle, has a little bit of room, fights forward. I think he's got it. Reese Dorsey out about to the 20-yard line. No signal yet. He is right at the down marker. Now they say first down. Dorsey gets 7 and a fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders.
That's a big pickup there for Sidney. Got right at the sticks, gets that first down. They've got a strong running game. And that's kind of pretty similar with these teams. I mean, they have such good defenses, but their offenses are potent as well. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out.
1st and 10 from the 20. Alec Doty out of the gun. Hands off Dorsey. Right side, not much. Stood up for maybe about a yard to the 19 into that big defensive line of the Lakeview Vikings, including Parker Austin is in there. He's 2 tackles away from 100 on the season coming into tonight.
Yeah, he is an absolute tackling machine. 98. This is a lot of guys with a lot of tackles. He's way ahead of everybody. He is an absolute machine out there at that linebacker spot.
3 receivers split to the right on 2nd and 9. Doty will option, keeps it himself, finds his seam. Doty close to first down yardage. Down to about the 11, it'll be 3rd and short. Doty gets the 8-yard gain. That puts him over 700 rushing yards on the season. He is very much a dual-threat quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a good sign for Sidney because they've had a couple of long yardage situations and been able to get yards on the ground against this very potent defense of Columbus Lakeview. If you can run the ball, especially down here in the red zone, that's a real positive for Sidney.
3rd and 1 for Sidney. Trying to take advantage of the turnover on the opening kickoff. Dorsey left side fighting. 2nd effort. 3rd effort. I think he's got it. They had stopped him in the backfield. Dorsey broke a couple of tackles. And it is 1st and goal, Sidney. That was all effort by the 190-pound junior.
Yeah, an excellent running back. That's a great job there. Just keep moving forward. Keep those legs churning. Try to fight around those blocks and get that first down. Exactly what Doty was able to do there. Or Dorsey, rather.
That was Grayson Vogt, big 265-pound senior that had his arms on him. Just couldn't wrap him up. So now 1st and goal. Doty to the air for the first time, batted, caught by Doty, and he's brought down. Trevor Sloop makes the play in the backfield. That goes as a negative 14-yard completion in 15 years of broadcasting. I think that's a first for me.
You don't see very many passes to yourself that go for negative yardage like that. Certainly if you were to do it over, if you're Doty, you just bat that ball down. You don't want to catch that football and then take that negative play. That's so important, again. We've said it already, but against these defenses, you just can't have those negative plays.
2nd down and goal from the 24. 3 receivers split to the left. You've got Cash Kenobi, Kean Kaiser, the Iowa State commit over there as well. They keep it on the ground to Dorsey. He's out across the 20 to about the 18. So gets 6 yards back, but it's 3rd and goal from a long ways away.
Yeah, 3rd down and long here. About 18 to go. But again, you set yourself up with a good 3rd down play to try to get yourself in position for a makeable 4th down.
They have not attempted a field goal this season. Alec Doty is their place kicker. So this is likely 4-down territory. 3rd and goal from the 17. Kaiser split wide to the left. Doty to the air, wants Kaiser, end zone, high pointed it, caught it, touchdown.
Wow.
That's why he's going to Iowa State, folks. 17 yards and Sidney's on the board.
Well, you figure you're in good position when you got one-on-one and you got Keenan Kaiser out there. That looked like almost like a basketball play. Get good position there and just throw it up to him. Let him go get it. The D1 commit with a nice catch, another 3rd down conversion. And that time 3rd down and 17. Wow, Sidney. They take advantage. It sometimes took it a little bit the hard way here, but take advantage of that fumble and get the early lead here on the road.
So now Doty on to kick the extra point. He is 41 for 51 on extra points this year. His team scores a lot of touchdowns. Extra point on its way, and it is good. Coming up on 6.5 to go, first quarter, and the Red Raiders making their mark on the road in Columbus. They're up 7-0. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
You're on the 1 yard line, ready to score. A pay raise, retirement savings, or money for college. But along comes government, blitzing with high spending, high taxes, and red tape. I'm Pete Ricketts. I'm like your lineman in D.C., blocking tax and spending hikes, sacking taxes on tips and overtime, and scoring tax relief for Nebraska seniors. And I don't even need a helmet. Maybe a hat.
Pete delivers. Nebraskans win.
I'm Pete Ricketts, and I approve this message. Go Big Red.
NCN Sports is brought to you by The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by Anderlin Realty, cheering loud for our Red Raiders. Check them out at AnderlinRealtyLLC.com.
Kickoff is away after the 17-yard touchdown strike. Here's Hank again, this time holding on to the football as he gets out across the 20 to the 24-yard line alongside Lou Siefker. Kalen Devin on the sidelines. I'm Eric McKay in our first quarter. Brought to you by Yankton Medical Clinic Norfolk, building a legacy. One patient at a time, one generation at a time. From family practice to expert specialists, they're here for you today and every day. All right, so now Lakeview behind the 8 ball after the turnover. They've got it 1st and 10 from the 24. They'll hand off. Room up the middle. That's Hank. Correction, that's Jet Borer, the 175-pound senior. Cutting up field on the jet sweep, getting 11 and moving the sticks.
Well, you got to be able to answer here early in the ball game. And that was a good first down carry, this first play from scrimmage for Lakeview.
Free play for Lakeview. Now they're going to blow it dead. Sidney had jumped across the line, but were they drawn? First penalty of the game. They're going to call encroachment on Sidney, so the Red Raiders called for their first penalty of the night. That'll be 1st and 5 now for the Lakeview Vikings.
Now, games like this, those mistakes can really be magnified. You figure this is going to be a 4-quarter game, and little things can go a long way when you're playing a team that kind of looks you squarely in the eye like both these teams do.
They jumped again. This time it's a free play. Lakeview thought about going deep. Now it'll be brought down for the sack. That's Cale Kaiser jumping in, although I don't see a flag. I thought Sidney had jumped. They do not throw the flag, and it'll be 2nd down and 7 after the QB sack.
I'll see if we can see it on the replay here. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, they were across.
Definitely an offsides that got missed.
Tough break for the Vikings there. So now they've got it 2nd and 7. That was Cale Kaiser's 2nd sack of the year. Here's Deonda for the first time, shaking off defenders. Gang tackled from there. Got a couple back. It'll be 3rd down and 5 from the 40. Big Kean Kaiser, the senior going to Iowa State, in on the stop. He too likely to go over 100 tackles tonight.
Well, you watch games like this, and that play kind of epitomizes these teams.
Yep.
A physical defense and a tough runner there colliding. A big 3rd down here in this first quarter for Lakeview.
3rd and 5 from the 40. Out of the gun, Viergits fires far side, caught, 1st down. Defense was playing back a bit. That allowed Hank to find some room, gets a 6-yard gain, moves the sticks.
That's one thing good teams do, and both these teams at 11-0 are very good teams. No matter what the circumstances, they find ways to make plays, and in that case, a big 1st down for Lakeview to keep the drive alive. Sidney was 3 for 3 on 3rd downs their first drive.
Back to the ground, Deonda tripped, working its way through the hole, gets about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Both of these teams advanced here with running clock victories in the quarterfinals. Lakeview, maybe their best game of the year. They blanked Aurora last week, one of the hottest teams in football, 45-0. In Sidney, quieted an explosive Fort Calhoun offense. Won that game last week 46-16.
Coach Frenzen talked to you earlier in the week, and he talked about there were some games he thought his team took their foot off the pedal a little bit. Didn't do that against Aurora, and one going away.
Boy, Sidney almost jumped again. They're trying to jump the snap count. Don't need to. Great pursuit into the backfield. DeAnda gets nothing. DeAnda stopped for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Again, we talk about that western side of the state, bias against those teams at times, thinking they're not physical. Look at these Sidney Red Raiders flying to the football. This team looks like a team that belongs in Lincoln next week.
Samuel Hulbert, Zach Rogish. Oh, now they're jumping again. Again, no flag. It's a 1st down for Lakeview. That pass is caught by Blake Rathbone. They're in Sidney territory after the gain of 11. This is the 2nd time, Lou, Sidney's gotten away with jumping off sides.
Yeah, they're trying to aggressively, as you mentioned, trying to beat that snap count and get into the backfield, but twice been offside. Actually, 3 times been offside. It's only been called for it once.
But it works for Lakeview. Now they've got it 1st and 10 in Sidney territory at the 40. Here's DeAnda. Little bit of room, mushed down about the 38-yard line. Both these teams huge on the line. That's big Anderson Smelly making the stop, 235-pound junior. You got 230, 240, 260 all up and down these lines.
Yeah, some big boys out there. Another reason that both these teams here are playing in the semifinals. They just have that sheer size and great athleticism to go with it.
2nd down and 8. They go with that jet sweep again, cutting up field, shaking off a defender. 1st down yardage across the 30 to the 28-yard line. That's Jet Borer again. That's the 2nd time, Lou, they've hit a big one on that jet sweep.
Well, Borer knows how to avoid tacklers, doesn't he? Great job there. 2 or 3 tacklers were not able to get to him, and Borer picks up a heck of a gain there.
Now timeout called. We'll take one as well. It's been good so far. We expect it to stay that way. 7-0, Sidney with the lead. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
At Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust,
there really is a difference. With the 5 convenient locations we have in Norfolk, between the drive-thrus or walking into the lobbies, we have a welcome smile greeting you and able to assist you in whatever you might need.
doing business with people that you know and trust, I think that's a huge difference that we have to offer as the Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust.
Great for you, great for your community.
Seven 0 Sidney on our scoreboard, brought to you by Aurora Cooperative. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today. Good drive by Lakeview, responding Sidney's opening touchdown. Now they've got it 1st and 10 at the Red Raider 28. In motion is Sloop. They hand off DeAnda. Wrapped up, spins forward for a minimal gain. There's big Ben Monheiser, 205-pound senior, 70 tackles plus coming into tonight. He had 8 tackles a week ago in that win over Fort Calhoun.
Well, Monheiser did a great job on that play, just fighting through the block. This is a very physical Lakeview offensive line, so that defensive line for Sidney has to bring it as well. Monheiser did on that play.
2nd down 9. Borer in motion. He'll be a blocker for DeAnda. Finds a little bit of room, dances to the outside, twists ahead across the 20 to the 17-yard line. That's a 10-yard gain, another 1st down for the Vikings.
Well, not a whole heck of a lot of room there at times, but able to get through. DeAnda gets through there. These running backs for Lakeview really know how to read those blocks and know how to get through those holes when they open up.
I said 20 at the pregame. He actually needs 40 to get to 1,000 yards on the season. That was his 6th carry for 18 yards tonight. Rylan Virgits, the junior, surveying the defense. 1st and 10 from the 17. DeAnda not able to break to the outside. That's good. Contained by Aurora. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Kill Kaiser, one of the guys on that tackle there for Sidney. Guess if your name's Kaiser, you're going to be in on a lot of plays tonight, whether it's for Lakeview or for Sidney.
Second down and 10. 3 receivers split to the right, 1 to the left. That lone receiver's Noah Hank. They give to Borer on that sweep. This time Sidney ready for it. Borer gets nothing. Shook off one defender. Kean Kaiser finishes it off. Loss on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 11 as we reach the end of the first quarter. Sidney takes advantage of an early turnover. They get the first score. They lead as we head to the second. 7-0 Red Raiders. You're watching the Class C1 semifinals on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Sidney Regional Medical Center, the heart of rural health care, providing extraordinary care always. Good luck to our local teams. Also by the Post and Godfathers Express, proudly supports our Sidney football team. Go Raiders!
Do you know when the worst time to find out your sump pump isn't working? The day you need it. At John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, we're offering a $59 sump pump inspection, so you won't have to find a watery surprise in your basement after a storm. For just $59, our licensed and experienced service professionals will examine your sump pump, inspecting its major components to ensure your sump pump is ready and working when you need it most. Hurry, this offer won't last long. John Henry's, serving your family since 1996.
Beautiful night in Columbus, Lakeview Stadium, packed for a semifinal matchup, the first here in this stadium since 1990. We start our second quarter brought to you by John Henry's, their family serving yours. And we start it with a 3rd down and 11 for Lakeview. Alongside Lou Siefker, Kalen Devitt on the sidelines, I'm Eric McKay. That one will draw a flag.
Yeah. That one's tough not to call since you're knocking people over. But
so Sidney is trying to time these snaps, Lou, and their timing has not been great. They've only been called for it twice, but they've been across the line of scrimmage a few times.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate play, honestly, if you're Sidney, because you had Lakeview at 3rd and 12. Now you're giving them a free 5 yards.
And now 3rd and 7 from the 14. Virgits doesn't have anybody open. Dances out, not going to escape, brought down for the sack. From behind, that's Zach Rogish, his 6th sack of the year, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Rogish gets there, and that's a big play there. Now we'll see, it looks like a field goal possibility here.
Brandon DeAnda is 2 of 3 on field goals, but his long this year is from 20.
Yeah.
This is from 33. The wind is kind of at his back. It's blowing sort of across the field. From 33 yards, has the leg.
Good.
Drilled it. And so with 11:17 to go in the first half, the Vikings are on the board. Sidney still leads 7-3. You're watching the C1 semifinals on News Channel Nebraska.
It's not just about the shoe. It's about your fit.
What sets Fleet Feet aside from everything else that we've experienced is my girls being runners. They have very different needs. And so the technology with the scanning and the personal touches is just unmatched. I met Lori almost 16 years ago, and when I saw Lori open this, I knew there was no other place that I wanted to go to have someone help me with my footwear and everything else involved with running. Fleet Feet doesn't just fit your shoes, they fit your life.
Fleet Feet Lincoln. Find your fit today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Katie Haas at State Farm. Whether you are cheering from the stands or competing on the field, we're here to support your journey. And by Wheat Belt Public Power District, your Touchstone Energy member.
Sidney bends, doesn't break. Lakeview gets points, but it's still the Red Raiders on top. 7-3 early second quarter alongside Lou Siefker. Kalen Devitt on the sidelines. I'm Eric McKay. Noah Hank will kick it away. Angling to the far sideline from the 17-yard line. Trying to reverse come near side is Lipska. Found a hole. Out across the 30. Good return out to the 33-yard line. Decent field position for Sidney. Well, Lou, both drives so far have ended in points. Sidney will try to extend their lead here.
So excellent job that time by Sidney, and Lipska giving his team good field position to start this drive. Now that first drive they had came off the fumble, a short field. They were able to convert 3 third downs on that drive, including a 3rd and 17 for the touchdown. So for Sidney, Columbus Lakeview rather, you want to get these guys in third down, you've got to be able to shut the door and get off the field. But Sidney has been, obviously, that one drive, very, very efficient.
Now on 1st and 10, they'll go straight ahead with Doty. Trying to ride the wave a bit out across the 35, serves his way to the 36, where it'll be 2nd down and 7.
The one really impressive thing with Sidney in recent years, the last 3 years, including this year, their record is 32-3.
Yeah.
Their 2 losses, 2 of those 3 losses have come here in the semifinals. So Sidney has been here and done that. I don't know that they're intimidated at all in this setting coming on the road. But what a consistent program they have been in the last almost 3 full years.
And they had been starved for that prior to these last 3 years. Only had 3 playoff wins all time before this current run. On 2nd and 7, Doty trying to bootleg, found a hole, keeps on his feet, has 1st down yardage. Out across the 40, slips his way to the 45-yard line on a gain of 9. Alec Doty getting it done with his legs.
Yeah, Doty almost got tripped up and gets hit hard at the end of that play. But what great balance after getting tripped. Stayed on his feet and picks up the 1st down.
1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line. Winner of this will get either Wahoo or Ashland-Greenwood. What a game that's going to be. That starts in about an hour and a half from now down in Saunders County. I'll bet there won't be, the parking lot's probably already full for that one. 1st and 10, Sidney from the 45. Doty. Over the middle, almost picked off. Trevor Sloop had a bead on that one. You mentioned at the outset, Lou, Doty 8 INTs this year, but over the last 5 weeks, he only has 2. He's been much better taking care of the football of late.
Yeah, so important in games like this. We've already seen Lakeview with the fumble on the opening kickoff that gave Sidney the short field, which led to a touchdown. So you can't, you don't want to put the ball in harm's way, and that was right over the fingertips of Sloop there. Very, very close to disaster for the Red Raiders.
Sloop, an opportunistic defender, 4 interceptions this year, 1 returned for a touchdown. 2nd and 10. They'll hand off, not much. Took a little while for that play to develop. Dorsey brought down in the backfield. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Sloop in on the stop among others.
Well, again, Sidney, that first drive, they had a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 17, converted both of those. So for Lakeview, this is you've got to win this down. You've got to get them off the field, get the football back. That's so demoralizing when you stop a team and you put them in a bad situation and they still convert.
In these 3rd and long situations, you wonder where's number 40. That's Kaiser. He split all alone to the top of your screen. 2 receivers to the near side on 3rd and 11. Doty looking near side instead, thinking big, almost intercepted again. There was a lot of traffic there. Hank had both hands on it. It almost bounced back to Lipska, but it's 4th down.
Yeah, Lipska come back for the football. I got 2 guys right there at the same area. I wonder if somebody didn't run a wrong route. Lipska had his hands on it, just able to catch it. So Lakeview gets the stop that they had to have, and should get the football back in relatively good field position.
Blake Rathbone, the senior, back deep to receive. Except they're not punting. Oh, now they are. They came out in a normal formation. Doty is their punter as well. Averages 36 yards a punt. That one almost blocked. Takes a Sidney roll across the 25 and out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So a 34-yard punt. Well, they mark it out the 24. 30-yard punt. No return. Lakeview's defense gets the first stop of the night.
It was Parker Oston there for Lakeview that got in there. Almost got a hand on that football. And get the punt off, and now you are going to make Lakeview have to put together a fairly long drive to put points on the board. Field position is also a big deal in this games like this. And again, Sidney had that great opportunity off the fumble on the opening kickoff of the short field. And that's against these defenses, it's tough to go a long distance for a touchdown.
They faked the pitch, wanted to go misdirection. I think they were thinking of passing it. Sidney had other ideas. There's Monheiser again. That's going to go for a loss of 4. It's 2nd and 14.
Monheiser has been all over the field. Gets him from behind. That's a great job, not only to get there, but to also be strong enough to throw him down from behind like that. That's an excellent play by Monheiser.
So 2nd and 14 from the 20. Out of the gun, Virgits. Quick hitter, far side, caught. Gets first down yardage. Nice job after the catch by Hank, shaking off defenders out to the 35. That's a first down on a gain of 15.
As a defender, you've got to be able to make that tackle off that catch. He breaks the tackle, so yards after catch. So many stats we could look at in a game like this, but that's a big one by Hank there to pick up the first down. That looked like that was maybe going to be a no-gainer.
Samuel Hulbert, the one who whiffed on the tackle. Now on first down, DeAnda. Correction, this is Sloop. Trevor Slope out across the 35 to the 37, gets 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Sebastian Serkis in on the stop. Hey, stick around. Halftime coming up, folks, already. We'll take a look at our halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. This game is cooking. We are on a record pace here. 2nd and 8. Near side, caught. Breaking a tackle again and a first down. Lakeview's receivers making plays in the open field. Rathbone gets to midfield, gains 13 and moves the sticks.
Well, that might be a game plan there for the Vikings, is get that ball out in space. Right now, at least in this quarter, the Red Raiders are struggling making those tackles out in space.
Lakeview only had 13 passing yards last week. That's all they needed. They got it done on the ground. They're getting it done through the air here so far tonight. Now Slope runs into a wall, brought down after about a yard. Serkis wraps up the play, gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Another one of those big dudes out there. Serkis running off the field after making that tackle. I tell you what, you don't want to be the faint of heart running in the middle with these two lines. Got a lot of big dudes out there.
3 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8. In plus territory, the Vikings trying to take their first lead. Virgits on the rollout, fires near sideline, caught. Nice job to haul that in right on the edge. That's Hank, his 3rd reception of the first half. Moves the sticks after a gain of 9.
I think that was Monheiser again. We're pressuring the quarterback. But the completion there to Hank, it's a great job there to get rid of that football by Virgits, and Hank with a great route there, sitting down right on the sideline.
Virgits perfect through the air so far, 5 for 5. 1st and 10 from the Sidney 39, Slope in motion. He's a blocker. The handoff to DeAnda, he gets nothing. Boy, it's going to be tough sledding up the middle for both of these teams.
Yeah. Both teams like to run the football, and both teams have very good defenses to go against that are good at stopping the run, so strength against strength. So the big plays likely in this ballgame are going to come through the air. We've seen Lakeview doing a nice job on this drive so far, completing those short intermediate passes and being able to break tackles and pick up yardage.
Correction, that was Trevor Slope on the carry. Reese Dorsey on the stop. So 2nd and 11. 3 to the left, 1 to the right again. Virgits calling out the play at the line. To the air. Dropped the ball. Has it and has room. Oh, he paid for it, though. Took a huge hit in the hole. Kaiser knocks him down. That'll go for a loss. That should go down as a sack. So it'll be 3rd down and 12. But it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, fortunate to get that football back. And unfortunately, you ran into Kaiser there after he picked it up and took a hard shot. But seems to be okay. Third down and long. Now, you know what? Both of these teams are capable, we've seen it, of picking up third and long situations, but you don't want to live in these situations with these very talented defenses.
From the 42-yard line, Virgits looking for a quick hitter, far sideline, knockdown, incomplete. Sidney's defense gets the stop. That's Hulbert on the coverage. They were trying to get it to Hank, far sideline. Lakeview will have to punt.
Not able to complete that pass, so the Vikings will kick. Idea now here is to try to kick this ball and let it roll if you can. And it looks like Sidney's not thinking they're going to kick the ball.
They're at least not putting anybody back deep, and they're going to call timeout. I think they thought Lakeview was going to go for it, so they're going to set up to punt return. We'll take a timeout as well. 7-3, Sidney leading. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
From the heart of Nebraska to across the state, RMV Construction is building more than just structures. We're building trust. RMV Construction has grown from humble beginnings to become a trusted name across central Nebraska and beyond. With unmatched craftsmanship, cutting-edge innovation, and an unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction, we deliver projects on time, on budget, and above expectations. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction in Kearney and Lincoln. Let's build your vision together.
Back in punt formation, Jet Borer averages 33 yards a punt. Now Sidney sends Reese Dorsey back deep.
This is certainly an area where you have to be concerned that Lakeview might think about it, a fake punt.
They'll put a leg into it, trying to pin him deep. Pretty good punt. Dorsey calls for a fair catch late, muffs it, ball's out. Oh, he picked it up and ran with it. You can't do that because he muffed the ball. Are they going to give him that forward progress? Doesn't look like it. They're going to mark it back at the 6 where he picked it up. A break for Sidney, though, that they keep the football.
Yeah, called for the fair catch and didn't catch it. So another fortuitous bounce, this time in Sidney's favor, to keep the football very close to disaster for the Red Raiders.
But they are pinned way back. No, they gave him that first. They gave him the forward progress, Lou. I don't know that you can advance that.
I didn't think so.
So 1st and 10, Sidney from the 11. Handoff up the middle. Lakeview trying to send him back to the 6 naturally. No gain, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, this is obviously bad field position for Sidney, so Columbus Lakeview can kind of pin their ears back and try to stop that run. You figure that Sidney might be a little more conservative. This might be where you take a chance here. Maybe you take one downfield.
2nd and 10 from the 11. Doty out of the gun. Option. Keeps it. Gets a few. Well covered. They'll give Doty a yard to the 12. That's it. It'll be 3rd down and 9. As we get closer and closer to halftime, our halftime show brought to you by RMV Construction, trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction in Kearney and Lincoln. 3rd and 9. Doty out of the gun. Lakeview blitzing. Doty flushed. Lost the ball. Sidney able to fall on it. Well, who's got it? That ball bounced around for a while. Lakeview saying they have it. And they do.
Wow.
One turnover aside, both of them huge. Lakeview will have it 1st and goal.
We've seen both teams have some bounces go their way. This one does not. Doty just kind of lost the football there. And one of the Red Raiders tried to pick it up, and that was a problem.
Luke Wellman forced the fumble and recovered it.
Yep.
His first fumble recovery of the season, and it's 1st and goal. Lakeview trying to take the lead.
Okay, he just got his hand in there, and Doty wasn't protecting the football. That's so important, especially in that side of the field. You got to take care of the ball. Wellman
Look at
made him
this
pay.
formation. They got two linemen in the backfield. They give to DeAnda. He gets maybe a yard. You had Wellman and Parker Austin both lined up as fullbacks. That's 295 Wellman and Austin at 220 in the backfield.
Is that your jumbo package out there?
guess.
Is that what you'd call that?
DeAnda got a couple out of it to the 7. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Now, really important here for Lakeview. Take advantage, just like Sidney did to their mistake. You've got to put points on the board.
Jumbo set again. DeAnda again, exact same play. This time tripped up across. They'll give him the 6, and that's it. Essentially, Lakeview running with like 8 offensive linemen here, 2 of which get a running start. Only a yard, though. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, credit Red Raider defensively because they've only given up 2 yards of play on average with the big guys out there. I think you got to give give Virgats a run pass option situation here.
3rd and goal from the 6. It's Virgats out of the gun. They go with a sweep reverse. It's set up. He's in. Oh, but a flag. A flag came in. Virgats threw the block. And I think that block is going to get called for a hold. It is indeed.
Yep.
That takes 6 off the board.
Wow, does that one hurt? Well-run play. Perfect call there from Lakeview. So watch that reverse here, and
there it is. Oh, it's the quarterback. Virgats called for the hold.
As the quarterback, you just want to get in the way. You just want to be an obstacle for that defender. And unfortunately, and you really didn't need to do that. That hole was there.
So now it is 3rd and goal from the 16. Big opportunity for Sidney here. Out of the pistol. One receiver to either side. Virgats pressured. End zone. Has a man caught. There's a flag down, though.
Oh,
Pass is caught to Hank. A flag came in, and it's against, I believe it's against Lakeview.
Oh, my goodness.
That's 2 touchdowns that have been taken off the board. This will be an illegal formation on Lakeview. Or no, ineligible downfield.
Wow. Unbelievable. What a good pass and a great route.
Yeah, you got a lineman at the 11 there.
Hank gets in front of the defender and catches it, but that you got the illegal man downfield, and that takes that's 2 touchdowns in 2 plays that have been wiped away against Columbus Lakeview.
3rd and goal now from the 21. Sidney pinning their ears back. Far sideline. Oh, it's a hook and lateral. It's set up. 3rd time the charm. They got it. Touchdown Lakeview. No flags. Hank pitched to Rathbone. Lakeview's got the lead.
Unbelievable. 3 plays, 3 touchdowns, but only 1 gets the count. Hook and lateral. Rathbone's the recipient of the lateral for the touchdown, and Lakeview takes the lead. Talk about perseverance.
The hook and lateral. How about this coaching staff of Lakeview cooking up a touchdown play on 3 straight possessions, extra point blocked by Kaiser. So it remains a 2-point game. Chaos in Columbus. Vikings up 2. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Sutton Home Gallery, your local resource for everything furniture, appliances, mattresses, and home decor in Sidney. And by Open Country LLC, your local source for ag, material handling, and turf equipment, located in Gurley, Nebraska.
There are many details that can set your dream apart from anyone else's. But what sets the banks that you are considering apart from each other? At Boone County Bank, what sets us apart from other lenders is our flexibility. We offer a wide variety of loans, and we pride ourselves on providing lending options for commercial, residential, and agriculture needs to make your dreams a reality. Our lenders have both the practical experience and product knowledge to ensure your solution is a perfect match for your needs. Boone County Bank, here to help you grow.
A drive set up by a Sidney native, Luke Wellman, originally from Sidney, now playing for Lakeview, gets the fumble recovery. It wasn't easy, but Lakeview figured out a way to get in the end zone, and now they're up 9-7. Alongside Lou Siefker, Caitlin Devitt on the sidelines. I'm Eric McKay. Oh, this live ball picked up at the 3. Dorsey, far sideline, broke a tackle, but shy of the 20-yard line. Well, if you're Sidney, you got to regroup now.
Yeah.
Lakeview just landed a huge haymaker, but 2:05, only one timeout left. But this is an offense that has shown the ability over the season to hit on big plays.
Right.
Doty with 17 touchdown passes, now 18 this year.
Well, Lakeview, that last possession, they decided to make it harder. They scored on 3rd and 6. That didn't count. They scored on 3rd and 16. That didn't count. So 3rd and 21. What the heck? We'll score again.
1st and 10 now from the 19 for Sidney. Doty straight ahead. Kind of lost his footing a little bit. Got a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
It's funny. We've seen a lot of dropsies in this first half. And you see that sometimes when the weather's bad. This is the best November weather we've ever had, I think.
Record highs all over the state, including here in Columbus today.
That's why I hate about living in Nebraska is all the tourists that move here for the winter, for the warm
all
weather.
The snow bunnies coming down from Saskatchewan. 2nd down and 9 from the 20. Doty out of the gun. Sidney not in a particular hurry. They do go to the air. Dropped. Incomplete. Trying to get Kyle Jaggers, the junior. He's only caught 7 balls this year. It's 3rd and 9.
Now 3rd and long. That ball in the breadbasket. Games like this, you got to catch those footballs. And that incomplete pass saves Lakeview from using a timeout here. I think if you got to stop, unless Sidney throws another incomplete pass, you use a timeout and figure you got a chance to put more points on the board.
3rd and 9. Option, pitch, Dorsey hesitating, flag. Dorsey's got the 1st down. We'll see if it stands.
Don't think it's going to.
And we've got a Lakeview player down and hurt, training staff out. A lot to sort out here. And that is Brandon DeAnda, who is down for Lakeview.
Definitely a guy that you don't want to lose. Heck of a football player. Hopefully something minor he can get back up and get back in the game.
Team's leading rusher on the year, also 56 tackles coming into tonight. That's a good sign if you're a Lakeview fan that he is up and able to get off the field. Now we've got to sort out the penalty. Sidney had the 1st down.
I think it's very possibly a hold.
As we take a look at the, oh my goodness, that was a huge hit that DeAnda took.
Going to call a,
and that is indeed the penalty.
Block.
Yeah, now that one's going to get called. That's a high hit blind side. That's going to cost Sidney 15. You just can't launch with your head. You see right there, that is textbook.
Yeah, that was college. He would be out of the game right now.
That's true. So now 3rd and long, 3rd and 18, back at the 11 are the Red Raiders. Doty out of the gun, inside of a minute to go. Just going to keep it on the ground, get what they can, milk some clock, get a pretty good gain out of it.
Yeah.
Well, Dorsey's been running hard. Out across the 20 to the 23. Lakeview calls a timeout, 48 seconds. They're going to have some time after that 13-yard gain.
They'll definitely have a chance. He'd like to get a decent return off this punt.
So we'll see what Lakeview cooks up. What I have, this has been as advertised. Couple of big physical teams trading big hits, trading big plays, one turnover aside, both of which have resulted in points. Both of these touchdowns set up by fumbles.
Yeah. Both of these touchdowns set up by fumbles with a short field, but they both came on 3rd and long. 3rd and 17 for Sidney, and then 3rd and 21 on Lakeview. So it wasn't, the textbook way of doing it, but they did it, and that's exactly what you want to do in any game, but it's certainly in a game like this, is to take advantage of your opponent's mistakes.
And that's what Sidney did last week. They forced 4 turnovers. They only had 288 yards of offense. They had a lot of short fields, forced 4 turnovers, scored 46 points. So now Sidney going to go for it on 4th and 6. Well, now they're going to drop back. Doty, almost blocked. Wow. On the back pedal at the 49. It's a big good field position for Lakeview in 40 seconds. That's a nice return by Rathbone. Honestly, Lou, that was a good punt. The cover team just didn't get there. 26-yard punt. Rathbone with a nice return. Lakeview will have it 1st and 10 in plus territory at the 37.
Well, we've just seen Deanda, who only had a 20-yard field goal on the year, kick a 33-yarder. And we got a penalty?
I think they're just respotting it. So 1st and 10 from the 39 instead of the 36. 40 seconds to go. 2 timeouts for the Vikings. Far sideline, caught. Trying to get to the sideline. Clock will keep running, I believe. That pass caught by Hank, who has had a great first half. That's his 5th reception. Lakeview will call the timeout. It's a 9-yard gain. Hank did not get out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 9. Or 2nd and 1, rather.
Quick timeout there by the coaching staff of Lakeview. Save a little bit of time. And, again, you're what, about 10, 15 yards away from being in field goal territory.
Sure. Now, here's the problem. Is Deanda ready to go?
Yeah, exactly.
Looking on the sideline, he is in the huddle, but he is on the back end of it. It does not look like he's going to be in on these plays. That certainly changes the math of what you do here if you're Coach Kurt Frenzen.
Well, Deanda is an important guy for this team, but that's one of the areas that you kind of forget about is his ability to kick the football. But we'll see how Lakeview drive turns out. But Deanda not out on the field right now.
So 2nd down and 1. Ball's at the 30. 2 receivers to either side. Slope in the backfield behind Virgits. Virgits thinking big. Over the top. End zone diving.
Wow.
Oh, what a catch. Blake Rathbone. 40 yards and Lakeview's fired up.
What a catch. What a nice throw, too. Virgits and Rathbone have been a good combination, but that one, that's placed perfectly. Really, Rathbone had to go down a little bit and catch that, but what a pitch and catch. Lakeview, that's been the difference in this game right now, is they have that big play ability. They've been able to make plays in the passing game, and none bigger than that touchdown pass.
Good news if you're a Lakeview fan. Deanda is out there to kick this extra point. Boy, how big is that? A monster touchdown before the end of the half. And hold everything. We've got motion on Sidney defensively. Well, I think the Red Raiders would really like this half to end. The wheels are wobbling a bit right now for Sidney.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You got to regroup, and What a momentum swing, though, for Lakeview. What I think it was 48 seconds is when this drive started. And to score that quickly, put points on the board before halftime, such a mental advantage right now for the Vikings.
Now that they're closer, they're thinking of going for two, making this a 2-point game. That is indeed what they will do. Offense is out there. From the 1. Slope the back behind Birgitz. Birgitz to the air. Caught! 2-point conversion is good. That's Jet Borer and Lakeview. 17 unanswered. We'll keep it here. Final minute, first half, the Vikings extend their lead. The second quarter has been all Lakeview.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I really like the way Virgutz is throwing the football right now. He's throwing dimes out there. And this receiving crew for Lakeview has been very good as well. And that's, for me, that's been kind of the difference. And part of Sidney's problem is they just haven't had very good field position lately. But it's been Columbus Lakeview's ability to make those big plays through the passing game that has allowed them this big second quarter and the 10-point lead.
To your point, Lou, Rylan Virgutz, 8 of 9 through the air, 99 yards. Only one touchdown pass officially. That hook and lateral will count as a rushing touchdown. Rathbone has both of them. He received the pitch on that hook and lateral. But Lakeview's passing game has been their key tonight. They've been a balanced offense, probably one of the more balanced teams in the state. 342 yards of offense per game, 223 of that rushing. So they mix in the pass as a regular part of their offensive repertoire. Kick is away, angling near sideline, and will go out of bounds. So Sidney might take a crack at this. They got a timeout. They'll have it at the 35. First and 10.
Field position changes, or at least it might change what you're looking to do here offensively with not much time at all, with 27 seconds to go and only one timeout to work with. But again, yeah, you might take a shot or two here with the field position that comes from that ball getting kicked out of bounds.
So the Red Raiders, Coach Ryan Smith, team got off to such a hot start both offensively and defensively. But the second half of this quarter, Lakeview has wrenched momentum of this game away. Sidney does go to the air. Quick out. Caught, coming to the near side of the field. That'll keep the clock moving. That's only a gain of about 6.
And now
Kyle Jaggers.
You either got to use it. Doesn't look like they're going to use the timeout, so probably maybe get one more play off here.
Well, they are going to rush up to the line in no huddle. Thinking big, far sideline. Over the top, intercepted. Picked off. Jet Borer, his first interception of the season. And with 1 second to go, Lakeview an exclamation point on the end of this first half.
Yeah, the second quarter, all Lakeview. It ends with an interception. Borer basically playing center field out there and gets a fairly easy interception to really effectively end this half.
They'll kneel it down. 1 second to go. And as we head to the break here at Lakeview Stadium, the Vikings sending the fans to the concession stands happy. At halftime, 17-7, Lakeview with the lead. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes, the wedding band, so we'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island. At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Ready for work or the weekend? The 2025 Ford F-150 from Woodhouse Ford is built to handle it all. Take advantage of special financing and exclusive offers happening now. Visit us in store or online at woodhousefordblair.com.
Black Friday is a real frenzy. Punches being thrown, people being shoved. I had to put a guy in a chokehold. As long as I live, I will never go to Black Friday again.
Black Friday is not what it used to be. During Black November at Schaefer's, save with rebates on all Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid appliances. Plus free dishwasher install on select KitchenAid dishwashers. Every day is Black Friday in November, now at Schaefer's.
At Faith Regional Health Services, we know that welcoming a baby is one of life's most meaningful moments. Our supportive, experienced team delivers more than babies. We deliver safe practices, education, and customized birth plans. Whether it's your first child or your fourth, you deserve expert care in a private space that feels calm, warm, and prepared. Faith Regional Health Services, expert hands for your exceptional beginning.
Well, on the drive from Sidney to Columbus, you pass through some of the best cities in the state of Nebraska, including Kearney, which is home of the beautiful Yanni Park Pavilion, an incredible structure constructed by RMV Construction, who are presenting our halftime show today. If you've got a construction project that needs to be built, they're the ones you want to call. RMV Construction, the ones who constructed the Yanni Park Pavilion out in Kearney. $3.7 million project. If you've not seen it, folks, it is incredible. 3,600 square feet. They've got catering, a wraparound patio, a fire pit. Every detail shows the kind of care and the quality that RMV puts into their work. They can build you a community space, a commercial project, something totally unique. Think big. You can trust the team that brought the Yanni Pavilion to life. That's RMV Construction. They've got offices in Kearney and Lincoln. Trusted, local, proven. More halftime show coming up. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Our halftime show is proudly presented by RMV Construction. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction.
I spend with purpose because I bank with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. With my Liberty Plus checking account, I can earn extra cash just for spending on everyday things, like groceries, online or in-store purchases, and lunch. At Liberty First, anyone can join, so start earning money to spend on the things you love. Start banking with purpose. Start banking with Liberty First Credit Union.
On your way to the big game or heading home after the win, Speedy Mart is the ultimate team stop.
Stay alive! Stay alive! Stay alive! Stay alive! You're bound to stay alive at Speedy Mart.
Icy cold drinks? Check. Tasty snacks? Double check. Fast fuel and room for the whole crew? You know it.
Be aggressive! And make sure to go to Speedy Mart after the game.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. And by Heritage at Fountain Point in Norfolk. Living better. NCN Sports is brought to you by The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by Anderlin Realty, cheering loud for our Red Raiders. Check them out at AnderlinRealtyLLC.com.
It's time to get in the game. When you team up with teammates, you don't need pads or a playbook. 1 hour a week can encourage a student in your community to win in school and in life. Hundreds of young people are waiting for a mentor to show up and build their confidence, character, and hope for the future. Be the teammate every young person deserves. Clock is ticking. Sign up at teammates.org today. Join the team. Be a mentor.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Sidney Regional Medical Center, the heart of rural health care, providing extraordinary care always. Good luck to our local teams. Also by The Post and Godfathers Express, proudly supports our Sidney football team. Go Raiders!
At TC Amish Home, we want to help you live better, longer, with a complete selection of health-focused power chairs from Ultra Comfort. Ultra Comfort features zero-gravity positioning, giving you that weightless feeling and increasing your circulation. Elevate your feet, release tension, reduce swelling, and maximize blood flow. They are fully programmable to your customized settings. With the softest, easy-to-clean fabrics, the entire family is able to enjoy the benefits of your new Ultra Comfort power chair. Live better, longer with Ultra Comfort at TC Amish Home in Norfolk.
A beautiful night of football here in Columbus, Nebraska, where Lakeview's got that 10-point lead over Sidney right now. But one of the reasons why the Sidney Raiders have been so good this season, and not just this year, but the last few years, is because of the Kaiser family. Kian and Kale have been two impact players for this squad over the years. In fact, the touchdown pass we saw in that first quarter for the Raiders came from Kian Kaiser. Well, the Kaiser family might not have even been here in Sidney if it wasn't for the COVID pandemic back in 2020. Yes, the family was raised here, but as so many families were a part of Cabela's when the whole caboodle went down there and Bass Pro Shop bought him out, so many families had to leave. The Kaiser family actually had to leave and move to Springfield, Missouri for 2.5 years. But when the COVID pandemic came in 2020, the Kaiser family moved back home where their roots were in Sidney, Nebraska. And since then, it's been homegrown Kaisers for the Raiders, and they've been playing some great football, part of many great athletic teams in Sidney that have made it to the semifinals once again. How will their impact, their presence impact the rest of this game? We will find out as we head into the second half. We'll send it back up to Eric and Lou.
Yeah, I got to believe Coach Ryan Smith was thrilled when he heard that the Kaisers were moving back to town. At 17-7, Lakeview with the lead, though, at the break. And we'll take a look at our halftime highlights here. Those are brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. And Lou, it looked like it was going to be all Sidney. Opening kickoff, they get the fumble. They make it kind of hard for themselves, setting up with a 3rd and long. But as they've done so many times, they find Kian Kaiser for a big play.
Yeah, I got Kaiser in the end zone on 3rd down and 17. They were 3 for 3 on that drive from 3rd down, have not converted a 3rd down since then.
Meanwhile, defense making plays for Sidney, forcing Lakeview into field goal situations. They have gotten to Lakeview's quarterback early. I think that was big, Lou, a big change as you see Deanda hit the 33-yarder. I thought Lakeview's offensive line did a better job protecting Viergoods in the second quarter, allowed him to make plays. As we see the fumble here, this is the fumble recovery that would set up the go-ahead touchdown, and it was a Sidney native, Luke Wellman, who forced and recovered the fumble.
Yeah, Wellman big on that play, obviously, but the passing, but that time it's a hook and lateral for the touchdown. Rathbone gets that one. And we might see him here in a moment as well, but what a call on that on that play.
And what a catch here. That ball thrown exactly where it needed to be. Rathbone went and got it. His 7th receiving touchdown of the year from 30 yards out. Sidney trying to make a play late in the half, picked off by Jet Borer. But Lou, Lakeview 17 points in the second quarter. And Sidney, they gained 30 yards on that opening drive. They only had 30 the rest of the first half. Lakeview's defense really cinching in, making the difference and keeping Sidney's high-powered offense from getting even into plus territory in that second quarter.
Well, certainly it was great defense from Lakeview. Part of the problem with Sidney also was at times they just did not have very good field position to work with. If you're the Red Raiders, you'd like to be able to start a drive here like they did there at the end of the half where you had some field position to work with. Obviously threw an interception at that point, but Columbus Lakeview defense after that first drive absolutely locking them down and doing a great job here in their come from behind 17-7 lead at halftime.
Well, as if a night of playoff football wasn't enough, we got more football coming up tomorrow, college football. Wayne State probably not going to be a playoff team, and a lot of teams in the region are glad for that because I don't think anybody's playing better football than the Wildcats right now. They can play spoiler for Augustana in the Egg Bowl. Lou, you'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wayne State might have the best running back in the nation in Dawson Forgey.
Forgey has been great, but the Wayne State defense is absolutely playing lights out right now. Offense is getting better. They're playing two quarterbacks. You got a great running back in Forgey. I'm calling my shot. Wayne State wins that game tomorrow.
There you go. He's calling a shot. You can see if he's right tomorrow. Now, Millard Southwest side's coming up at 7. Okay, here's how we're doing this. So our playoff coverage will be switching to that semifinal between Millard South and West Side at 7 Central Time, 6 Mountain. You can continue watching this game. If you're watching it on Allo, you're good to go. We will not be switching as long as you're on channel 182. So if you're watching on Allo, switch to channel 182. You'll have us to the end. If you're watching this game over the air in Columbus, I know we got a lot of antenna folks in Columbus. As long as you're watching on 16.3, you're not going to miss it down to this game. Everybody else, you have to sign up for an NFHS network pass to see the conclusion of the game at 7 o'clock. We will be switching our coverage to that Class A semifinal, maybe the game of the year in the state of Nebraska. We'll be doing that. And post-game, we'll be doing our normal post-game. We'll have interviews with the coach, player of the game, top plays, all of that. You'll be able to see that later at newschannelnebraska.com later on this evening. But we got a good one. 17-7 Lakeview with the lead. Can they keep the mojo going in the third quarter? Find out coming up. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Black Friday sales event. Receive 3.9% APR for 72 months plus $18,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Ram 1500. Woodhouse is your trusted Ram dealer.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Katie Haas at State Farm. Whether you are cheering from the stands or competing on the field, we're here to support your journey. And by Wheat Belt Public Power District, your Touchstone Energy member. From the heart of Nebraska to across the state, RMV Construction is building more than just structures. We're building trust. RMV Construction has grown from humble beginnings to become a trusted name across central Nebraska and beyond. With unmatched craftsmanship, cutting-edge innovation, and an unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction, we deliver projects on time, on budget, and above expectations. Trusted, local, proven. RMV Construction in Kearney and Lincoln. Let's build your vision together. NCN Sports is brought to you by Sutton Home Gallery, your local resource for everything furniture, appliances, mattresses, and home decor in Sidney. And by Open Country LLC, your local source for ag, material handling, and turf equipment, located in Gurley, Nebraska.
With 2 board-certified physicians, Dr. Charles Harper and Dr. Alan Spanel offers a high level of expertise in internal medicine. If you're over age 18 and ready to find a trusted physician who will be with you throughout your years, Dr. Harper and Dr. Spanel are ready to provide you with the medical care you need. Whether you are healthy or have several medical conditions, as internal medicine physicians, they provide the care you need. Yankton Medical Clinic, Norfolk location offers so much care so close to home.
Hey, folks, here at News Channel Nebraska, we are excited to be celebrating 10 years, and we are doing it through the Our Gift to Nebraska promotion. 10 giveaways, 10 years. Here's how it works. We got all kinds of amazing prizes. You get $1,000 cash You can get tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa game. Stay at the Lead Lodge down in Nebraska City. Beautiful part of the state. We got a beef package from Nebraska Star Beef. Much more. Don't want to go see Mannheim Steamroller at the Lead? You can hook yourself up there as well. To sign up, just visit newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the Our Gift to Nebraska graphic. Lou, we've been on the air 10 years. It's amazing to think you and I, just 13 years old when this started, and now here at the ripe old age of 23 years of age apiece, 10 years later, still going.
That's funny. I was 13 back then. Now I act 13. So it's just kind of been a consistent thing for me.
Well, we're about to get a second half going, Lou, quickly as we take a look at what awaits the winner of this one. If you're Sidney, boy, the first half of this third quarter might very well be your season.
Yeah, you got to bring it here in the third quarter. You got to win this quarter if you're Sidney and give yourself that chance going into the fourth quarter. It's difficult to, not making excuses, but, it's difficult to make this trip and then come out and play a great team like Columbus Lakeview. But what you want to do is if you have to make that kind of trip, you might as well win the ball game. And I think that's what you're telling your team at halftime is that you're down 17-7, long way from over, but you got to play well here in this third quarter. You got to hang on to the football. You can't have silly penalties, and you got to put together a drive on offense. Both these teams have great defenses. It's Sidney's chance here, I'd say, to try to do something offensively. But you certainly want to start with some field position if you can, if you're the Red Raiders.
It's all on the line. Third quarter coming up next. You're watching the Class C1 semifinals on News Channel Nebraska.
Whether you're rolling up in a semi, pulling a horse trailer, heading to the lake with your boat, or just cruising in a car or motorcycle, Speedy Mart is your stop. Fuel up fast, grab your favorite snacks, stretch out with plenty of parking, and step inside for a roomy store and friendly faces. And hey, teams love it before and after the game. Speedy Mart convenience stores, fueled for every road.
Well, the good news for the Red Raiders, they will start the second half with the ball. Remember, Lakeview started on possession but fumbled the opening kickoff. So essentially, Sidney gets both opening kickoffs. Let's see what they can do with it here as we start the second half. Alongside Lou Siefker, Kalen Devin on the sideline, I'm Eric McKay. So glad you could join us. So glad you've been able to join us all year here on News Channel Nebraska for high school football. We got another semifinal tonight. The six-man state championship game coming up a week from tonight. Garden County up on Stewart, the defending champs, 32-20 right now in a six-man semifinal. Here at Sidney down 10, fielding from the 16. Straight ahead into the pile, fighting forward. Great return out to the 40-yard line. That's Carter Lipska. Lou, he's been very good in special teams for the Red Raiders tonight.
Yeah, excellent kick return. Now exactly what you wanted to have, and that's a good field position to start with. We'll see what you can do against this Lakeview defense, who's been very good in this first half. Certainly since that fumble that started the ball game, you had Sidney that took care of business and scored a touchdown. Since then, they have not moved the football. So now it's important to establish something offensively if you're the Red Raiders.
Just 60 yards of offense to Sidney as we start the second half. They are not accustomed to that. Find some room here on first down. They're going Kaiser out of the backfield. I like that adjustment.
Yeah.
That's the big 215-pound playmaker, the future Iowa State Cyclone. Line him and Ben Bramer on opposite sides of an offensive line. They'll do some damage. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Yeah. Iowa State getting some really good players from the smaller classes here out of the state. There's so many good players. I don't care what classification you're in. There's a lot of good football players here in the state of Nebraska.
2nd down and short. This is a dangerous down and distance for defenses playing Sidney this year. Doty over the top. Looking for Kaiser. Caught it in stride. No flags. He's gone. Touchdown, Red Raiders. 51 yards this time. It's Cale Kaiser. Just his 2nd touchdown reception this season.
But what we talked about in the first half was that Lakeview was able to make plays through the air and then through the passing game. Sidney says right back at you, Kale Kaiser. That's a tough catch over the shoulder. And again, another pass that kind of was where it had to be to make that play. Kaiser makes the tough catch. And what a start. Boy, we talked about Sidney. You need to establish something in the first quarter. How about 53 seconds into the first quarter, they score a touchdown?
Kale Kaiser, that's just his 7th reception this season. He'll be that featured tight end next year. He's a junior. Extra point, missed it. No good, so it's still a touchdown difference. 17-13, Lakeview with the lead. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during their early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
We now join regular
17-13 Sidney. Both of their touchdowns have come on opening possessions. The opening possession of the first half, now the opening possession of the second half. Can Lakeview answer? 51-yard touchdown pass, 19th of the season for Doty. That's a live ball. Lakeview's got to get to it. Yeah. They barely do. Swarmed upon is Hank inside the 20. Down to the 19. Kick returns have been an adventure for the Vikings tonight.
Yeah, looked like Hank maybe thought that was a punt. The way he wasn't attacking the football, you got to get up on that football. Fortunately, if you're a Lakeview fan, you keep the football, but not great field position this time for the Vikings, only at the 19-yard line.
1st and 10, 81 yards of Lakeview Stadium field in front of them. Lakeview trying to advance to the state championship game for the 3rd time in school history. Sidney trying to get there for the first time ever. Handoff up the middle. No, fooled me, fooled everybody. Oh man, did Virgoods absorb a huge hit. We've talked about it all game, Lou. This Sidney team lays the licks. Virgoods gets 11 though and a first down.
Yeah, Virgoods has taken some shots in this game, but he's a tough customer. He's bounced up every time. That's a hard shot that time by Lipska from Sidney.
Give him 12. That puts him back above positive. He was net minus 10. He got sacked 3 times in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 31. Virgoods. This time does hand off up the middle. There's DeAnda. Back in there after getting his bell rung earlier. And he's got first down yardage right up the gut on a gain of 12.
Well, that's a good sign if you're Lakeview, because this Red Raider defense just does not allow anybody to run on them, and you run right at the heart of that defense and pick up positive yards like that. That's a real good moment, I think, if you're the Lakeview football team.
DeAnda 33 hard-earned yards on 10 carries, 7 away from 1,000. Can he get it here? Bounces to the outside, finds a stiff arm, picks up a block. Well, that'll get him 1,000. That'll get him into Sidney territory, and that'll get the Lakeview Vikings a first down in as many plays, down to the 46 on a gain of 13.
I think DeAnda's, he takes a shot here at the end.
Yeah.
But he appears to be okay, and I'm just going to say, he looks to be okay from that.
We do have a Sidney player down, though.
Sidney player down.
Back behind the play. Unsure who that is, so we've got a timeout as the training staff out to take a look at the injured Red Raider. But Lou, Lakeview, 3 plays, 3 runs, 3 first downs.
Yeah.
You really feel like that offensive line was challenged a little bit. Now, granted, oh my goodness, that's Kale Kaiser that's down. He's up. Able to get off under his own power. Boy, everybody holding their breath, not just here in this game. Folks in Sidney, folks in Ames, Iowa.
That'd be Kean Kaiser.
Correction, Kean Kaiser, my apologies.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, a lot of the Sidney faithful holding their breath, but it's good that Kaiser gets up and appears to be fine.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Lakeview in Sidney territory at the 46. Checking the play on the sideline, Virgits. On play action, pressured, flushed, running for his life, throws against the grain over the top. Incomplete. First time Sidney's been able to really get pressure on Virgits since the first quarter. You know, Lou, we talk about that Lakeview offensive line. They've got an assistant coach who knows a thing or two about playing pretty good offensive line. Ethan Piper is an assistant on this Columbus Lakeview staff. The Norfolk Catholic legend, played and started at Nebraska, had his career cut short by injury. But if you want tips on playing good offensive line, that's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, I heard he was on the coaching staff. I couldn't find him. He just blended in. No, I'm just kidding. He stands out. He's
still looks like he could bench press a Buick.
Yeah, for sure.
2nd and 10 from the 46. Off the right side, DeAnda shedding tacklers. Down to the 40. That time, Cale Kaiser on the stop. Gain of 6, though. Sets up a 3rd and 4.
Well, I think if you're Columbus Lakeview and the way you're running the football on this drive, you got to feel pretty good about the way things are going. Now, it's still is 3rd down and 4, but against a defense that only allows less than 50 yards a game on the ground, you're running the football and you're running it right at them.
3rd and 4. They send a man in motion, give DeAnda. He's got room right side, 1st down. Across the 35, down to the 33. The right side of that Lakeview offensive line, Lou, really making hay. That's Luke Wellman, Grayson Vogt. 295, 265 on that right side.
Yeah. That used to be the size of the Nebraska offensive line back in my day. Now that's a high school offensive line, but they're good, they're physical, and you're right, they're dominating up front right now.
560 pounds of Platte County beef on the right side of that line, opening up holes. On play action to the far sideline, late throw, dropped. Oh, that could have been a big one. I think Rathbone was thinking 6. Didn't haul it in. It'll be 2nd down.
They have been a great combination in this game. They had actually a couple of touchdown passes that one of them got called back in that first half. But I think he's thinking run before the catch. You see that a lot. You're thinking about what are you going to do before you catch the football, and then you end up not focusing on the catch.
Lakeview tried to run that play earlier. It ended up as a sack. Put a pin in that. We might see that one again. 3 receivers bunched to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 10. Up the middle, this time DeAnda doesn't get much. Met immediately, falls forward, but it's 3rd and long coming up for the Vikings.
We talk about beef up front. How about the Sidney defensive line? That's number 61 on the play.
That's Caleb Serenal. He's a sophomore, 225-pounder. 6'3", 225, coming off the bench.
Yeah,
now we got an official's timeout. DeAnda coming off the field.
Serenal's only a sophomore. They got DeAnda coming off. I'm not sure.
I think that's the official sending him off. Because, again, he took that hit earlier.
Yeah.
And the officials, again, if they see anything that they think might be a head injury, they are instructed to send that player to the sideline. So DeAnda getting checked on by the training staff.
Yeah, that's kind of the hidden part of their job is to try to protect these players. They do a great job of it.
3rd and 9. Monstrous play here for the Sidney defense. On play action, Virgits firing over the top, has a step.
Wow.
Caught again! Touchdown, Lakeview! Rathbone again got behind the defense, 33 yards to pay dirt.
Boy, oh boy, Virgits to Rathbone. It has been unstoppable tonight. What a great pass, and what a great route by Rathbone, getting behind the defense. That ball is delivered perfectly. And Rathbone that time with a sure catch and another touchdown. Boy, those guys have been lights out for the Lakeview Vikings.
Now, no DeAnda. Oh, they did send him out there, so they got him cleared. DeAnda did get out there to kick the extra point. And with 7:31 to go, it's Air Viking. 2nd touchdown pass tonight. Lakeview up 11. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
We were camped out for Black Friday. It was cold. The wind was howling like a lone wolf. No moon, no stars, no prayers. About halfway through the night, I lost feeling in my toe. I still don't feel my toe.
Black Friday is not what it used to be. During Black November at Schaefer's, the savings are back on Black Speed Queen laundry pairs. Now with up to $200 in cash back rebates on these reliable machines. Every day is Black Friday in November, now at Schaefer's.
The Ryland-Viergoots to Blake Rathbone connection. They connected on a hook and lateral earlier, and now they've connected on 2 touchdown passes. No government shutdown's going to ground these flights. Lakeview's up 11, 7:31 to go third quarter. We talk so much about what Lakeview can do on the ground. Coming into tonight, Ryland-Viergoots just shy of 1,200 yards through the air, now 17 touchdowns to just 3 INTs. The junior has been very good as a signal caller for Lakeview this year. Now this kick taken from the 15. It's Dorsey trying to reverse field. He's got blockers set up. Bit of a convoy, far sideline. Good field position again for Sidney. Down 2 scores.
Sidney's special teams have been very good in this ball game. Now, it goes without saying, there's still a lot of time left, but if you're Sidney, you got to keep answering here and keep yourself in the ball game. Down 2 scores right now. You want to put together another drive. Last time they had the football, it was about the same spot. It was 60-yard drive, but only in a couple of plays with a big touchdown pass to Kielkaiser from Doty.
Now Doty out of the gun. Will hand off Dorsey up the middle, a little bit of room. Dorsey had a nice first half. Got 4 yards there. He had 34 yards on 8 carries. Jansen in on the stop among others. It'll be second down, call it 6 as they mark him down at the 44-yard line. Back to Dorsey, back up the middle, this time met in the hole but falls forward. That's good strong running by the 190-pound junior out across the 45 to the 48. It'll be third and about 2.
But Sidney defensively has only given up 60 points all year.
Yeah.
And Lakeview's got 24 right now, the most points scored against the Red Raiders all season.
Yeah, they had not given up double-digit points until they got to the last game of the year. Shadron put 14 on them. 14 by Pierce, 16 by Fort Calhoun. Now 24 tonight by Lakeview so far. Third and 2. Pressure coming. They hand off. Got into the backfield and made the play. That is Will Jansen, the junior offensive outside linebacker, rather, making the stop. That's a loss of 6, and it's 4th and 7.
Absolutely read that play, did Will Jansen, the junior. Shot through there, makes a big play and a big loss.
What do you do if you're Sidney here?
Well, you almost hate to give it back, but you don't pick up a first down on this play. You're giving Lakeview great field position.
It is 4th down and 7. Nope, they're going to back up and punt it. Doty backs out of the formation. Try to pin Lakeview deep. Pretty good leg into this one. Lakeview not even going to go after it. This takes a Sidney roll. What a punt by Doty. Inside the 5-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt by the senior. And Lakeview's got 95 yards of grass in front of him.
I wonder if Alec Doty's a good golfer, because he just put that one right on the green there, right by the pin.
They push it back to the 4, so give him 53 yards on that punt. Well, if you're Lakeview, you just want to get out of the shadow of the end zone, but this is an opportunity. If they can even just get a couple of first downs, burn some clock, that's going to feel like a win.
Well, that last drive, even though they had a touchdown pass, they ran the ball very well against Sidney.
They run it here, trying to find a room off that right side again. DeAnda flipped forward for a couple. My apologies, that's Slope. Well, they run very similarly.
Yeah,
and if you can't see the number, it's hard to tell the difference. Slope gets about 2. It'll be second down and 8.
Sidney, you need a 3 and out here and get the football back in great field position. Boy, you think about where you're at. You figure run the football, be conservative, but the way Virgich is throwing the football, it looks like they've got Sidney spread out on this play.
They will go to the air. Quick hitter near side. Guess who? Rathbone. Out of bounds. Close to first down yardage. I think he's shy by about a yard. Shoved out at the 12, so they'll say third down and about a yard and a half. Rathbone's 5th reception tonight.
Well, that's a great job to put yourself in at least position for a first down.
Call it 3rd and 2. They keep it on the ground. Not going to get there. Sidney breaking through exactly what the Red Raiders needed. And it's Monheiser. Another big play on defense. Lakeview's got a punt.
Well, Monheiser has been a monster. He has been on so many plays. What a big stop that time. Monheiser been unblockable up front there for the Red Raiders.
He and Zach Rogash were pointed out to me by Coach Kurt Frenzen as two guys that he saw on the line that he was really concerned about, and they have lived up to those concerns here tonight.
We'll see if Sidney tries to block this kick or you set up the return. Looks like the return.
Angling near sideline, not a good punt at all. This will be great field position for Sidney. That went off the side of Borer's foot. Out of bounds at the 26-yard line, so
Wow.
Just a 15-yard punt. No return, in Sidney with a great chance as Borer took a bit of a shot.
That's really good pressure by Kale Kaiser that time.
Yep.
I don't know if he did get a hand on it. He was
Might
right
have
in
called
there.
it kind of incidental contact as well. And look, maybe an embellishment here and there.
But nevertheless, Sidney, that's almost like a turnover there. You get the football in great field position off the shanked punt.
Yeah, out of bounds at the 25, so just 14 yards on that punt. Sidney, great field position. Can they take advantage? Make this a one-score game. Doty. Kaiser up the middle. Good to see him back in the game. Got about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Kaiser has been used in the rushing game a bit this year at 113 rushing yards. A couple of touchdowns coming into tonight. But as a tight end, at his 9th touchdown reception, 531 yards receiving on 34 catches coming into tonight. Probably the best tight end in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one of the best. Now, Sidney in this position, they're thinking 4 downs the entire time. They do not kick field goals.
Doty swinging out of the backfield. This is set up pretty well. Dorsey bouncing the far sideline. 1st down yardage. Nobody picked up Dorsey out of the backfield. That's a big hitter. It's going to be 1st and goal Red Raiders after the gain of 15.
Yeah, it's like a busted coverage. Ostin comes in there kind of late. Nobody over there on Dorsey, and a big 1st down picked up by Sidney.
Just Dorsey's 6th reception this year. But now the Red Raiders 1st and goal from the 9. In the C1 semifinal, the winner getting either Wahoo or Ashland-Greenwood. They kick off in about 25 minutes. Doty straight ahead on 1st down. Diving into the pile. Forward progress. They'll give him the 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Sidney trying to play some physical football, run right at that Lakeview defense. A must-score situation here for Sidney. If you get a touchdown here, you feel pretty good about where you're standing. If you don't cash in this opportunity, you feel like Lakeview really grabs the entire momentum of this ballgame.
2nd and goal from the 5. Doty. Man in motion, they fake to him, go up the middle, nothing. Oh no, broke free and into the end zone. Reese Dorsey was stopped, and then he wasn't, and it's a one-score game again.
Yeah, Dorsey right into the middle of the pack here, just bounces off people. It keeps going forward, keeps turning forward, it gets that touchdown. Good backs find ways to score after contact. Dorsey does exactly that, and Sidney does exactly what you want to do when you get that opportunity. That's twice now they've had the short field. Both times they've turned those into touchdowns.
Going to try to make it a 3-point game here, it appears. That's Dorsey's 24th rushing touchdown this season. They've had 4 rushing touchdowns at least multiple times this season. 6 games, they've had at least 4 rushing touchdowns in a game.
They go for 2 here, trying to get it within a field goal.
Doty on the rollout. Pumps, in trouble. Reverses. Fires. Caught.
Wow.
What a play by Kaiser. And we got ourselves a 3-point game. This one's getting good in Columbus. 24-21. Doty freelancing, improvising, and Kaiser scoring. 3-point game. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Ready for work or the weekend? The 2025 Ford F-150 from Woodhouse Ford is built to handle it all. Take advantage of special financing and exclusive offers happening now. Visit us in store or online at woodhousefordblair.com.
Red Raiders aren't done. Impressive drive. Take advantage of the short field. They make it a 3-point game alongside Lou Siefker. Kalen Devitt on the sideline. I'm Eric McKay. This from the 21-yard line. Up, back, out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. That's Brett Balin, the junior. So Lakeview back on offense. So the good news, if you're Sidney, you got the stop, you got the touchdown. Now, Lakeview kind of back on schedule with good field position. Can Sidney come up with another stop on defense?
Yeah, it's going to be very important as this game winds into the fourth quarter for, really for both teams to make those plays. Field position has hurt both of these teams at times in this game. Lakeview now has good field position to work with.
On misdirection, play action. Virgutz has got a ton of room to the near sideline, out of bounds. There was no one on the right side of the field, and Rylan Virgutz gets to the 48 of Sidney on a gain of 21.
Yeah, kind of a fake pitch there to go left, to come back right. You're right, Eric. There's nobody over there. Virgutz picks up a chunk of yards. Does a smart job there to get out of bounds before taking the hit. You want your quarterback to stay healthy. But what a run there by Virgutz into Sidney territory.
1st and 10 from the 48. DeAnda sidesteps a defender, finds a little bit of room. Out across the 45 to the 44. With that little sidestep, though, that's an impressive start to the run. Gets about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, you'll take those 4 yards on first down against the Sidney defense. In this quarter, I think, even though the last possession, some of that was the field position, but I think Lakeview likes what they're doing on the ground. They've been able to run the football against the defense that generally stops the run.
2nd and 6. Rathbone in motion. They fake to him. Virgutz trying to bounce to the outside. Sidney giving chase. Nice job by Virgutz to extend that play. Shoved out of bounds by Graham Santero, but not before Virgutz gets across the 40 to the 39. It'll be 3rd and about a yard.
Yeah, 3rd and short. Virgutz makes that a much better down and distance situation with that run.
Up under center on 3rd and short. Sort of the Viking version of the tush push. Virgutz shoved backwards. We'll see where the forward progress is. Looks like he's got it.
Yeah, it looks like where they're going to spot the football will be a first down.
Well, let's see. No signal yet. They're standing at the 38. We're going to get a measurement.
Yeah, it's close.
All right, chain gang, legs are limber. They're ready to go. We have not seen a lot of measurements this year, have we?
No, we have not, and now we're going to see one here. Trying to see it where got players in front of me.
Yeah, they've got the ball marked right at the 38.
That's going to be close. I think he might get it by the nose of the football.
Even if they don't, I got to believe Lakeview's going for this. They stretch it out, boy, everybody.
Yeah.
Waiting to see. Hold on.
I was wrong.
It's 4th down and like a half yard. Well, this was a great push internally.
That is beef on beef there. A lot of big dudes in the middle of that scrum.
Virgood's tried to get over the top. Sidney got low, and now 4th and short. I mean, Lakeview's going to go for this, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they have to believe they can get a half yard.
Well, this is what you call championship football, right?
Yep.
You've got a team, you feel like you can get 4th and 1 on anybody. This is your chance to prove it.
4th and a half yard. Everybody up on the line. Virgoods straight ahead, ball's out. Picked up by DeAnda, and he's got it. Oh, what a play by Brandon DeAnda.
Wow.
And they're going to give it the first down. What a break for the Vikings.
Sidney had that play stopped. It's a fumble. And what a presence of mind by DeAnda to pick that up and get the first down, just like you drew it up.
That stiff arm in the backfield kept the drive going. He would have been stopped. Oh, what a play by the 185-pound senior.
If Lakeview wins this game, plays like that will stand out big time.
Remember that one for sure. Trips to the left. DeAnda up the middle. Hammered immediately. Smushed. No gain. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, trying to run at that Sidney defense. They've had some success, but Sidney's also had some success against them as well. And it did just a moment ago, but the fumble picked up by DeAnda.
Yeah, these running backs, and they're going to have nightmares of Ben Monheiser for weeks. 2nd and 10. On play action. DeAnda picks up the blitz. Over the top. Incomplete. Lakeview fans want a flag. They're not going to get it. That was good coverage by Holbert on the pass intended for Hank. And it's 3rd and 10.
That looked like another of those looping passes for the touchdown, but great coverage.
Yeah, it's a good no call. That's just great coverage by Samuel Holbert, the senior. And now 3rd and 10. Every one of these 3rd downs with increased magnitude. 2 receivers split to the right. Now 3, 1 to the left, that's Hank. 3rd and 10 from the 34. Virgoods steps up, fires, wants his man, overshot him, incomplete. Rathbone had gotten behind the defense, but that pass was heaved too high, and it's 4th down.
Virgoods got pressure, and I think that was Monheiser. I'm sorry, as well. That made him get rid of that football quickly. So,
tough in between area here. Lakeview going to punt it.
So good stop here for Sidney. Gets the football back. We'll see what kind of field position they get out of this, but they do stop Lakeview.
That was a great job by that defense. Now Borer on to punt it away, trying to pin him deep. Much better punt than the last one. This one will roll into the end zone, though. Rathbone lost it. 34-yard punt. No return. It'll net 14. As Sidney will start this drive 1st and 10 from the 20 with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Now this will be a kind of another drive here. I mean, not terrible field position, I guess, but we'll see what Sidney can do here. Excellent. They've been able to take advantage of those short fields. They've had trouble putting together the long drives.
From the 20, up the middle, Dorsey. bowls his way to the 23. Reese Dorsey will be set up with about 2nd down and 7 after that 3-yard gain.
That's last play of the third quarter.
4 fingers in the air. We got a good one. A trip to Lincoln on the line. 24-21. Lakeview with the lead. Red Raiders driving. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
On your way to the big game or heading home after the win, Speedy Mart is the ultimate team stop.
Stay alive! Stay alive! Stay alive! Stay alive! You're bound to stay alive at Speedy Mart.
Icy cold drinks? Check. Tasty snacks? Double check. Fast fuel and room for the whole crew? You know it.
Be aggressive!
And make sure to go to Speedy Mart after the game.
12 minutes of regulation football remaining at Lakeview Stadium in Columbus. The unbeaten 2-seed Columbus Lakeview 24, the unbeaten 3-seed Sidney 21. Red Raiders with the ball. Alongside Lou Siefker, Kalen Devin, my name is Eric McKay. We could not be happier to have you with us here on Semifinal Friday in Nebraska.
Yeah, it should be a great fourth quarter. If you like football games that come right down to the wire, I think we're going to have one right here. Two teams slugging it away. Physical teams, but teams with great skill people. And now it's Sidney's opportunity to try to either tie or take the lead on this drive.
They've been down by as much as 11. But they've cinched in, made plays. Far sideline, that's caught. Should say far side of the field, that's caught at the hash. Kaiser, at about 5, it'll be 3rd down. I'll give him 6. It'll be 3rd and 2 upcoming.
And Sidney has not converted a 3rd down since the first quarter.
That was Kaiser's first catch since the touchdown reception in the first quarter.
So this is a huge opportunity to get that 3rd down, and 3rd down 2 very makeable here for the Red Raiders.
From the 28. Doty out of the gun. Lakeview showing pressure. They bring it. Doty runs past it. 1st down. On the draw play. Great call by Coach Ryan Smith and his coaching staff. That's a 7-yard gain and a 1st down. And now we got a Sidney player slow to get up. Maybe some cramping. I mean, look, it's mid-November. It's hot and humid. You got to be just ready for those hot and humid mid-November nights in Nebraska.
You just don't think about cramps on November 15th in Nebraska. That's not something we usually talk about this time of the year, but that does look like a cramp working on that calf. Trying to stretch that out.
Boy, how about that call, though? A perfect call. Lakeview showing the blitz. Doty just runs right past it. That offensive line who's done a nice job tonight. That is one of the linemen, Sebastian Serkis, the 240-pound senior. Looks like he'll be okay. Just needs to work that out. But if you're Lakeview, now you've got a lineman that's down. Let's see if they target that side of the line for some pressure.
Yeah, it's that subtropic weather that we always have around this time of the year. That
love the rainy season in Nebraska. 1st and 10 at the 34. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Doty pumps, wants it all, well covered over the top. Kaiser in traffic, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, that time some pressure from Lakeview on that. Doty took a hit after he threw the football. And that's another one where you got to get rid of the football quickly. That time threw into double coverage, but no harm done. But it was that pressure from Lakeview that forced that incompletion.
So 2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Nobody to the left side of the field. Option, quick pitch. Dorsey gets some blocks, finds a seam, 1st down, tripped up, gets to midfield. That was a big tackle made by Borer, but a big gain by Dorsey of 16 moves the sticks for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, physical football up front that time by Sidney. Dorsey takes advantage of it, but watch the blocking out in front there. There's a good block. Did not see the number, and then number 2, Scott, also on the edge. Throws a nice block for a big first down. Red Raiders on the move at midfield.
An arena football field in front of them. They're at the 50. Doty with Jaggers in motion. Dorsey up the middle. Great push by that offensive line. It was 4 yards down the field before even first contact. He gets 8, and it'll be 2nd and 2. We've got some extracurriculars after the play.
A little chippiness going on, but you don't, as an official, you try not to throw the flag unless you have to in a situation and in a game like this. But you see there the two big fellas in there going after each other, and it was number 63 for Sidney.
It's Bolchus, Cason Bolchus, and Luke Wellman. Now,
yeah. And Bolchus kind of did the shove there. Usually that's the one that gets caught, but I think a good no call there by the official.
2nd and 2. Pass far side, skips. Did he catch it? They're going to say yes. That's first down yardage out across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Kaiser went down and got that one.
Wow, what a catch. Very difficult catch, low to the ground, but secures it for the first down.
Quickly to the line, Dorsey up the middle. Almost sprung free, gets to the 30. And now Sidney moving the ball in chunks. Gain of 8 is 2nd and 2. Sidney rushing to the line. Lakeview trying to substitute. They got to hurry.
Yeah, Sidney at least showing some tempo there. But Dorsey and that offensive line playing physically right now for Sidney.
They give it back to Dorsey up the middle. This time not much, maybe a yard. They'll mark him down a yard shy of the first down. 3rd down and 1.
Well, could this be the drive that you call the drive for Sidney, the one that everybody remembers? It takes Sidney to a state championship. A lot of football left to be played, but that clock ticking away. Sidney running the football. Big play here, 3rd down and 1.
From the 29, 3 receivers to the right, nobody to the left. They come to the right, pitch. Dorsey, got it. Hard hitting. But Dorsey out across the 30 to the 27-yard line, gets 2 and moves the sticks.
Dorsey and Austin there. Good collision, but a first down for Sidney to keep this possibly a monumental drive alive.
Red Raiders have never been to the state championship game. A team from Mountain Time Zone hasn't played for a state championship in Class C1 since Chase County back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sidney's got a team that certainly could be there.
From the 27, quick hitter, far side, Kaiser with space, diving forward, first down. Sidney cooking now. That's a gain of 11.
Well, you know, the Sidney team's a heck of a team, but it certainly helps to have a guy like Kaiser. In a game like this, in a situation like this, a go-to guy, a guy to get the football to. Another first down, Sidney on the move.
From the 17-yard line, an impressive drive by the Red Raiders, the 3 seed. Doty, straight ahead. Sidesteps his way for some extra yardage. They'll mark him down about the 11. It'll be 2nd and 4. But, Lou, this offensive line is Sidney, and I think the tempo is affecting the Vikings right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think Lakeview is a little tired right now, and Sidney speeding this game up has been to their advantage.
To the 11. Sidney scored the first touchdown. Lakeview scored 17 unanswered. They've been up by as much as 11. But the Red Raiders trying to regain the lead. It's Doty to the left. Pinballs his way off a couple of defenders. Shy of first down yardage. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Now 3rd down and 1 obviously is in Sidney's wheelhouse. If you don't get it here, Sidney has not kicked a field goal all year. So you've got to think 4 downs here in this situation, even though you're only down 3 points.
3rd and 1. Doty out of the gun. They're not thinking 3, they're thinking 6. Pitch, Dorsey, left side, first and goal. Upended inside the 5. That little quick pitch has worked really well for the Red Raiders. That time gets them 7.
That's a great pitch that by Doty. Watch, Deanda was coming in after the quarterback. And when you see that guy crashing, you just get rid of the football. You pitch it over there. That time to Deanda. Or to, for the first down. And first and goal here. Sidney with a chance here to take a big lead with just over 6 minutes to go right now.
Dorsey, 86 yards on 19 carries. Here's carry number 20. Sidesteps to the left, and he's in. Touchdown. Lakeview got into the backfield. Dorsey didn't care, and the Red Raiders are on top.
What a drive by Sidney. And Dorsey, what better way to end that drive than a Dorsey touchdown? He has been the man on this drive. Well executed plays. Tough physical football, running a little bit of tempo, and they finish it with a touchdown. 5:57 to go in the ball game. And don't look now, but the Red Raiders have the lead.
This is now 14 unanswered. They're going to try to make it 15 and make it so the Vikings would need a touchdown to take the lead. Doty is 1 for 2 on extra points tonight.
Yeah, big PAT coming.
Not a great snap. Hold is down. Kick wobbly, but through. And with 5:57 to go, it's 28-24. We'll keep it here. Remind folks that in a couple of minutes, most of you will be going to the West Side Millard South game. You see at the top of your screen how to continue watching this game. If you're watching on antenna in Columbus or on Allo Cable, you're good to go. The top of the screen will give you the information you need there to figure out how to watch what will be an amazing conclusion to this game. How about these Red Raiders, Lou?
Well, I love the moxie. I mean, they looked at halftime. We were talking about the mentality where you've got to have a good third quarter here to get back in the game. And this is a team, I think, first of all, you have to say that, I think it's true with both of these teams, but certainly the way Sidney has battled back is they're well coached. They're not hanging their heads. They weren't worried about it down 10. They just came out and have, I think, outplayed Lakeview to this point in the second half and have got the lead back. But now it's Lakeview's chance, right? Now they could put together that big drive, that memorable drive that might put them back in the state championship game.
Lakeview scored with 7:31 to go in the third. I believe they only have 1 first down since. This is a great kick. Just goes out of bounds.
Wow.
That was either the 20 or the 35. Rathbone gambled and won, and Lakeview will have good field position, 3 timeouts, and 5 minutes 57 to keep their season going.
Well, again, I think this Lakeview offense there for a while, they were running the football well. Now Sidney has stiffened up that defense and have not really allowed those rushing yards. But I think if Lakeview can run the football, that certainly sets up that passing game that has been very potent. We'll see plenty of time left and all 3 timeouts to work with for the Vikings.
To the air, over the middle, caught. Solid gain on first down. That's Jet Borer, his first reception tonight. All 10 of Virguts's completions had been to either Rathbone or Hank. They each had 5. Borer gets 7 there.
Well, I think if you're Kurt Frenson, you'd love to see a nice long drive finished off by a late touchdown. I'm sure you'll take a touchdown anytime you can get it. But you would love to not leave Sidney any time left.
2nd and 2, Rathbone in motion. That's who gets it on the sweep. Sidney breaks into the backfield. Rathbone evades the first rush. Might have gotten a first down. Boy, Blake Rathbone, he has come up with some big plays tonight, and that one does indeed get them the first down. What a job of running. That was all number 88.
Yeah, and you got to be tough running in the middle of that Sidney defense, too. You know you're going to take some shots. The Rathbone picks up a monster first down.
Caleb Cerrito was in the backfield. Rathbone escaped it. 1st and 10 now from the 45. They fake the pitch. It's been a big hitter earlier. Virgut's late over the middle. Caught! Absorbing the contact and keeping it. That's a great catch in traffic by Borer. Gets 11 and a first down.
That's a great job by Borer to catch the ball and hang on to it. He knew he was going to take a hit. And sometimes you can jar that football loose, but he did a great job there, did Borer, to hang on to that football after the contact.
Back in plus territory. 1st and 10 at the Sidney 44. Time melting away. Virgut's far sideline. Rathbone twists forward for a gain of about 7. Out across the 40 to the 38. It'll be 2nd down. Rathbone's 6th reception tonight.
We got a Sidney team trying to get into their first state championship ever. Columbus Lakeview won the state title in 2021. If you remember that season, they started 1-2.
Yeah.
Lost to Pearson, lost to Wayne, and got revenge on Pearson in the championship game. But a team that was playing great football at the right time. I think both of these teams are playing great football as they are trying to get here to the state championship game.
They were the 11 seed that year. They're the 2 seed this time. Virgut's pumps, surveys. Well, that's a good throw. Yeah. Far sideline. That was pretty good coverage. That pass had to be perfect against the zone. Rathbone gets it, gets out of bounds, and it's a first down after a gain of 15.
Again, I really like I think Virgut's throws a really good football. That's a great job there to, that time, go through progressions and get the football out there for the first down. And also had good protection that time by his offensive line.
That's Rathbone's 7th reception. He had 18 coming into tonight.
Yeah. Well, he looks like an all-state receiver tonight.
From the 23, Virgut's quick hitter, Rathbone again. They're using that almost like a long handoff, like that's their running game. Gets about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Folks, stick around. We've got our post-game show coming up. That is brought to you by Custom Sports.
Those quick short passes, you're right, Eric. They're using that like a running game. I think Sidney has kind of closed that run down a little bit, that traditional run, so they're using those short passes to move the football down the field. 2nd and 7, they go back to the traditional run. It's Slope. And again, I think part of that because DeAnda limited because of the injury he suffered earlier. Slope gets a yard. And it is 3rd down and 5. They gave him 2 yards there. So 3rd and 5 coming up from the 18. Hold everything. Before that snap, a timeout called by the Red Raiders. We'll take one as well. Catch your breath. Come right back. Huge 3rd down next. This is News Channel Nebraska.
I spend with purpose because I bank with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. With my Liberty Plus checking account, I can earn extra cash just for spending on everyday things, like groceries, online or in-store purchases, and lunch. At Liberty First, anyone can join, so start earning money to spend on the things you love. Start banking with purpose. Start banking with Liberty First Credit Union.
Well, for those of you who've stuck with us, as soon as this game is over, we'll be switching over to West Side and Millard South. But our player of the game interviews will still happen. Those will be posted online at newschannelnebraska.com. Those brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center and by Heritage at Fountain Point. 3rd and 5. Lakeview trying to regain the lead. It's a pass off the reverse, over the top. Virgut's dropped it, came back to it. It was knocked away. Virgut's to Rathbone has been such a great connection all night. They tried to reverse it, and now it's 4th down.
Looked good when it started there. Virgut's was open there for a moment. And, yeah, pass a little bit short. Virgut's had to come back with it. He got his hands on it. Now 4th down. Boy, this feels like this could even be ball game. Now they've got 3 timeouts to work with yet. So it's not completely over if they don't get the first down, but this is a big, big play.
4th and 5. Receivers to either side. Vierguts firing over the middle. End zone. Knocked away. That's Lance Holly knocking it away from the intended receiver. Nash, Hank, and Sidney takes over.
Well, Lance Holly, we haven't said his name all night, but no bigger defensive play in the ball game and in the season than what Lance Holly just did. Knocked away what could have been a touchdown pass. Sidney with the football. Lakeview still has 3 timeouts, so Sidney's got to move the football. But what a big stop and a chance now. It's right there in front of you if you're Sidney with a chance to get to their first ever state championship game.
From the 18-yard line. First and 10 for Sidney. Lakeview going to sell out on the run, but Doty evasive. Gets a solid gain out to the 24. Lakeview not burning the timeout yet. It'll be 2nd and 4 after the gain of 6.
That's a great gain on first down by Doty. Well, you figure you get a first down here, it's going to be very difficult for Lakeview. You might have to try to strip the football or gamble a little bit, try to get a turnover.
I think they're saving a timeout in case Sidney does convert. 2nd down 4. Handoff, Dorsey bouncing, wrapped up, brought down. Now you get the timeout as Dorsey gets about a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Well, Dorsey is not overly elusive, but he's just so hard to bring down. He's just so big and strong. It hits you right in the mouth if you come at him the wrong way there. Now I think a good timeout here, only 1:38 to go. This really, for all intents and purposes, is the ball game. If you get the first down, it's over because you'd only be able to stop it twice.
Yeah, if they get the first down, Lakeview would still have a timeout, so then it just becomes trying to strip the ball at that point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be completely over, but for all intents and purposes, it'd be very, very difficult for Lakeview, unless you got like you just mentioned, a strip or something to get the football back.
Sidney's offensive line has been so good in this second half, Lou. They've got to feel pretty confident about 3 yards on 3rd down.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I'm guessing they're going to give the ball to Dorsey here and try to get those 4 yards. Here we go.
Doty trying to cut back. Oh, that second effort, I think, got it. I think Doty got it. He did. Got to the 29-yard line. What a job by the senior signal caller to move the sticks.
Yeah, fake the option and turn the ball upfield. Pulls through the tackle for the first down. Doty with the 1-2 play picks up the first down. And now Lakeview with 2 timeouts, but only 1:19 here and counting left to be played. Again, now for Lakeview's only hope here is to get a strip.
From the 29, no victory formation yet. Lakeview does not use their timeout, so they've still got 2. Doty straight ahead, into the pile. Timeout called. But the only chance Lakeview has now is to get a turnover.
Yeah, and Sidney's going to be very, I think, conservative now. You're just going to run the football, protect the football, and try to just run some clock. Lakeview with only 1 timeout left, so Sidney a minute away from history for this high school first ever football state championship game if they can finish this out.
The farthest west a team has been that has played for a state championship, you're not going to believe this, Baird. 1978, Baird played Pierce for the Class C1 title and lost. No one from the Panhandle has been there since. Sidney trying to change that. They are a minute away from doing it.
Yeah, 2 great football teams playing in this game today. Well, I think you play this game, 10 times, probably 5-5. But Sidney has got a chance to win the only game here that matters. That's the one that's being played right now. Can they put it away?
Handoff, Dorsey. He has been the difference. There's the first down. It's not Dorsey, it's Kaiser. Kaiser across midfield to the 49. That's going to clinch it. The Sidney Red Raiders traveled 5.5 hours and are about to steal one in Platte County.
Well, that's going to be a very happy long ride home. Sidney's going to be playing for a state championship here in about 10 days. What a great job. You come this far, you might as well win it, right? And Sidney has earned it. They've beat a great Columbus Lakeview football team here tonight.
Great fans from Sidney that made the trip out. They support their team. Sidney, you see them in basketball make it to state a lot. You see a lot of Sidney athletes at state track in Omaha. But for the first time ever, these fans from Sidney will get to drive to the capital city the week of Thanksgiving and watch their team play for a state title in football. The Red Raiders did it. Your final, 28-24. Sidney gets the win and moves on to the title game in Class C1. Post-game show coming up. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
It all starts. Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
We got your back.
Ashoff Construction of Osmond does it all when it comes to general contracting. From agricultural storage buildings to commercial office buildings, retail warehouses to concrete contracting. The HEI Sentinel buildings help safeguard crops and valuable assets, and Ashoff's professional builders handle the job from the design through the completion of the build. For a free estimate, contact Dylan Price, Scott Pullman, or Brandon Ruge. Call 402-748-3551 today. Visit AshoffConstruction.com for more information.
Behind every switch you flip, innovation is at work. NPPD is using advanced technology to generate and deliver the reliable energy you've come to expect. Like AI-driven platforms to optimize energy generation, drones for infrastructure inspection, smart meters for faster outage detection, and helping advance carbon capture and sequestration technologies. It's not just electricity we're delivering, it's innovation. Powering the state, empowering your life. Nebraska Public Power District.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. And by Heritage at Fountain Point in Norfolk. Living better.
20 kids, 1 SUV, and 1 mission. Snacks. Speedy Mart is where the snack squad rolls deep. Whether it's before the first pitch or after the final out, we've got drinks, treats, and all the fuel to keep your team going strong. Speedy Mart convenience stores. Quick, convenient, and always ready when the team rolls in. Speedy Mart. Snack strong, play strong.
What a ball game here in Columbus. Sidney comes on the road. They defeat Columbus Lakeview in a battle of unbeatens, 28-24, and they move on to the state championship game in Class C1. Let's take a look at how it happened in our top plays as the Class C1 semifinal on a beautiful night in Columbus comes down to two unbeatens, Columbus Lakeview and Sidney, meeting for the first time ever. First semifinal game played in Lakeview since 1990. Not a great start for the Vikings. They fumble the opening kickoff, picked up by Sidney, and they've got the ball to start the game. They take advantage. They got moved back to a 3rd and goal from the 17. Well, that's when you go to the Iowa State commit. Kean Kaiser with a touchdown reception, and Sidney strikes first. Sidney trying to strike again. Lakeview gets within 4 with a field goal, but the ball stripped, fumbled, picked up by Luke Wellman, the junior. That sets up Lakeview a goal to go from the 9, but they kept having touchdowns erased due to penalties. They had 3rd and goal from the 21. They go hook and lateral. Blake Rathbone, the senior, giving Lakeview their first lead. Extra point was blocked. It's 9-7. Lakeview extends their lead on a dime. Up the middle, Rathbone goes down to get it, and Lakeview gets the 2-point conversion. They're up at the break, 17-7, trying to advance to their 4th state title game. Sidney trying to get something going before the end of the half, but it's intercepted, and Lakeview would have that 10-point lead at the break. Second half, Sidney over the top. This is Cale Kaiser with a little bit of bragging rights of his own. Extra point no good, though. So Sidney down 4 after that 51-yard touchdown strike. Then Viergoods, 181 yards passing. He was 15 of 21 on the night. It's Rathbone again on a perfectly thrown ball. Lakeview has their largest lead at 11, but Sidney settles in. Their offensive line did the work. Reese Dorsey, the benefactor there, 5 yards in. 2-point conversion good. We got a 3-point game. Then 4th quarter. This is the 2-point conversion. An incredible scramble to the end zone. Kaiser able to get the ball. That makes it a 3-point game. Sidney would keep it going. Their offensive line was so dominant tonight. Dorsey with his 2nd rushing touchdown tonight. 26th of the season. And Sidney takes the lead 28-24. Lakeview trying to get a stop at the end that would get them the game, but Kaiser able to get the big run. That would cinch it. And for the first time ever, the Sidney Red Raiders are playing for a state championship. They get the win, 28-24 over Lakeview, and improve to 12-0 for the first time ever.